What's up, everybody?
You know what time it is.
And today, we're talking about Ghost Nation.
Let's get into this.
What's up, everybody? How we doing out there? YouTube and Spotify and
Stitcher and pretty soon iTunes. I resubmitted us to iTunes.
Yeah, we're pushing
iTunes
it out there, guys.
I don't know, they're weird.
We're pushing it out there. Anyway, so as you heard in the intro there, guys, we're talking about the new show coming up that I'm pretty excited about, Ghost Nation.
Ghost Nation. And who's in Ghost Nation?
Well, see, this is why we're pretty excited about it, guys. And, of course, probably you guys are too, because you probably all heard about it already. But Jason Hawes, of course, you know him from Taps.
My favorite, Steve Gonzalez.
Steve Gonzalez, another one of my favorites. And Dave Tango.
Yeah.
Mr. Tango, Wingo Tango.
Wingo the Tango.
He's in it. And, we all love Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we used to.
I still love it. I don't care. I love it. I can't hate on it.
Well, I'm not hating on it.
I know.
It's been gone for 3 years now.
Oh, I got you. We used to because it's not there anymore.
So
yeah.
The series ran from 2004 to 2016.
Yep.
I mean, that's a long haul for a show like that.
14 seasons, I think.
12 years, 14 seasons maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, great show. That show got me into paranormal stuff like hardcore.
Yeah.
It pushed me over the edge to do my own thing and have my own hunts and stuff like that.
I tell you, I used to love the Halloween specials that they would do.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Where it was like 6 hours of live footage.
Yeah,
and,
it was awesome.
They'd go to like Waverly Hills and all these different places. And they did that one at the Stanley.
Oh, yeah,
dude. Yeah.
Special shout out to Grant Wilson. We don't talk about him in this one because he's not on there as far as we know yet. Yeah. But I love Grant's my favorite.
Yeah.
He was my
Grant
favorite.
was cool.
So shout out to him. Anyway, guys, we're going to get into just a little bit about Jason and Steve and Dave's, just a little bit about them, and then we'll go into a little bit about the episode, about the show itself. And
we're just going to blab for a while.
So I'll go ahead and say some stuff about Jason. And if you see anything I forgot,
do it.
You shot it out there. So Jason Conrad Hawes. Hey,
we're not laughing at you.
No,
we're laughing
I love you, man. I love you.
It would have been cool to try and get a hold of these guys. I just listened to a podcast this morning, The Last Note, or The Final Note, and they had a little, about a half-hour interview on there with Steve Gonzalez.
Oh, right on.
Pretty cool.
Sweet.
I learned some stuff about him that I didn't know. Kind of blew my mind.
Sweet. Yeah. So back into that, Jason was born December 27th, 1971. And correct, I don't know if I say this right, but I'm going to try to pronounce it. Canandaigua, New York. I don't know how you say it. So I butchered that, I know, but
butchered at birth.
And he was a plumber, TV host, radio host, producer, author, and paranormal investigator. And he
as well as an actor.
Yeah, founder of TAPS, which is the Atlantic Paranormal Society. And
the Atlantic or transatlantic? Is it?
I think it's transatlantic. I think you're
transatlantic.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically, guys, a little bit about him. He moved to Warwick, Rhode Island in 1971. He began to see apparitions at the age of 20. And this is kind of cool because his girlfriend at the time, and this is coming from him, his girlfriend at the time who practiced Reiki, or however you say it.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
It's some sort of, I don't know.
Is it like reggae?
Nah, yeah. Well, you probably have to be high. I don't know. Maybe. But his girlfriend manipulated his life energy, as he said,
right,
and caused him to be able to see, basically become sensitive.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
And, not too long after that, he founded his first team, I guess you would say, or corporation, whatever you want to call it.
His first paranormal group.
Paranormal group, which was the Rhode Island Paranormal Society, and that was in 1990. And 2 years later, he formed the infamous TAPS, and which turned out to be one of our favorite TV shows.
Yeah, and man, they really went a long way.
I love that.
But most groups like that don't last for very long. But what was different about them is they went into every investigation with an open mind. They weren't going to these investigations of, oh my God, this is a haunting, we're going to catch some evidence.
Yeah.
It's hey, this family's having problems, let's see if we can help them.
Which is cool.
And I think that's what made, help their longevity, because they weren't all about themselves. They were more about helping.
Yeah, and they debunked a lot of things. They didn't just go, oh, yep, that's on it, like others do. They being plumbers too really helped out a lot because they knew what kind of noises certain things would make.
Yeah, that was kind of cool how sometimes they would
do the roto-rooter.
They would hear. They would go into some of these investigations and people would be, talking about creaks and groans and stuff like that they hear in the house, and Grant and Jason would go downstairs and they'd be like, oh well, it's this pipe here that runs from your hot water heater over to your flux capacitor or whatever.
Your jigger.
When these things get a little bit of air in them, they make that noise, and it's kind of cool. Yeah. So not only are they chasing ghosts, they're fixing plumbing problems.
Yeah, man, all around getting some daytime, maybe get a job out of it.
hey, what are 2 rules a plumber has?
How would you pull your pants up?
One, shit rolls downhill, and 2, never chew your fingernails.
Yeah, for sure, never chew your damn fingernails. Ugh. Yes, bad enough.
Anyway,
so you want to? Do you have anything else you want to mention about it?
Just a couple things. So you heard me butt in that Jason was an actor. He's actually been in a couple movies. He did a movie called The Glowing in 2007, which was like a comedy thriller. It was like a short film. And then he and both Steve Gonzalez are in this movie called Ghost Town that came out in 2016.
Why did I think I've seen the previews.
We have seen the preview for that before, but I have never watched that movie. I didn't realize they were in it until I started looking at them.
I'm for sure going to watch it now.
Jason has wrote 2 books. He has also wrote 4 sci-fi thriller screenplays.
Yep. Along with, I believe Grant helped him on those.
Yeah.
Grant was
one cool thing that I thought is definitely worth a mention is Jason was really big into charity work, and he donated a lot of time and money to the Shriners Hospital and
the Cancer Research Institute or something like that. Yeah.
Just very cool.
Really good dude.
You can't say enough, about the guy. I mean, he's been married to his wife since 1998.
Yeah.
They have 5 kids. I mean, just a great stand-up guy. Great father, great husband.
He's got a great It's a radio show, but they put it out as a podcast too, called why am I drawing a blank automatically? I've been talking about this all day long in my head. It draws a blank on me. Beyond Reality Radio.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I listen to your guys' show all the time, so just so you know.
I don't listen to it all the time. I have listened to a few episodes, but it's not.
Well, he's been missing a lot, actually. It's J.V. Johnson and Jason
Well, he's
Hawes.
been filming.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. He's doing this new show, which is awesome. But before we get into that, you want to talk a little bit about
Bugs Bunny.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Oh, I do. I've got a lot to say about Steve. I have 4 whole lines worth of stuff to say about Steve.
Maybe I got something you don't.
So Steve Gonzalez was born in October of 1975. He has been in a few movies. I didn't write down a whole lot about him. He joined TAPS. Like he got fascinated with the paranormal at a very young age.
15 years old.
Yeah, and he started his own paranormal investigation when he was 17.
17, yeah.
And by the age of 20, he was making money at it.
He was the lead.
And he was the lead investigator. He was born in Massachusetts, and he was one of the lead investigators up there. Well, he joined TAPS in early 2000s.
It wasn't too long after he started investigating. So he was like 20, 21 when he.
Yeah, when he joined TAPS, and then of course that led into the TV show. So a little bit of background that I didn't know about him is he used to be a cop.
Yep, a cop. Yep.
I didn't know that. I don't know why he got out of that. Did you ever?
He got big into the paranormal.
He had been big in the paranormal.
He started in 2001. He started his own group called New England Paranormal.
Right.
And that's shortly after that is when he hooked up with Jason and them. But I believe he stopped being a police officer to pursue
his
full
dream.
time. Yeah,
that's cool.
And he something I don't know if you looked at it, but something you probably like, and I like anyway, is that he's covered in horror tattoos.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. And it's funny because I actually found a list of he's only been worked on by like 5 or 6 different tattoo artists, and I kind of found a list of what tattoos they did of his, and it was funny because while I was watching that show as the series was running, he was getting a lot of these, and you would see him like every week, it'd be like, oh hey, he's got something new on his arm, know, and he's got some really cool stuff. He's got that entire Halloween themed sleeve, which is something I've been wanting to do for years, but
I'm so ready for more tattoos. I'm ready.
But yeah. Here's one of the coolest things I found out about him is Steve Gonzalez was a drummer, and he was a drummer in a band called Perpetual Doom.
I've heard of them.
The lead singer of that band is Phil Labonte, who is now the lead singer of All That Remains.
Yep, I've heard of
Steve Gonzalez was the drummer in this guy's band.
I did not know he was a drummer. That's badass.
Crazy, dude. That's awesome.
Rock on. That's sweet, dude.
He's been in a couple of movies. Of course, he did The Ghost Town with Jason Hawes.
Which I'm at the watch.
And he did this other movie called The Captured Burb, which I really don't know that much about. It came out in 2012.
I read that, yep.
Just, pretty cool guy. He is, he's got some weird quirks. He will not eat seafood.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind. I love seafood.
Well, he even said that. What he said was... chasing ghosts and demons is the one thing that doesn't scare me.
Yeah. He's afraid of a lot of things, bugs and spiders and
flying.
He is definitely afraid of flying. In fact, TAPS went to Ireland to do an investigation.
Well, they had that,
and he didn't go with them because he said it was funny because during the interview that I was listening to, he said he made it all the way to the tarmac. Yeah. And just could not force himself to get on the plane.
Yeah, they wanted him to be the lead investigator in Ghost Hunters International.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be the main guy there, and he just couldn't.
He could have swam over.
Could have floated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all good.
The one thing that's cool that I saw about him that I didn't really see about the other guys is he loves to do conventions.
Yeah.
He goes to these paranormal conventions, and in fact, he's doing one this weekend called Parasci in Ohio, I think is where it is.
Yeah.
He just absolutely loves these conventions.
So does Jason.
He loves talking to the people, and just kind of cool.
I think both of them are. I think that's why they are. I know we said we're not going to talk about him too much, but Grant Wilson, he's got his own YouTube thing going on too.
Right.
Called What the Fetch.
Yeah.
Because he say that all the time.
Yeah, he used to. Yeah.
But Grant kind of wanted to go back to a little bit of a private life for a while,
Yeah.
And which is you need that,
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, when him and Jason bought that inn in New Hampshire, and now they've sold it. I think they sold it quite a few years ago. I think I saw they sold it in 2014.
2014, yep.
And they bought this haunted inn in New Hampshire and thought, oh, hey, this will be a good way for us to step back from the show, spend some time with our families, and still make some money. you know, as if they're not worth enough money now.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't really know what happened there, if they just decided to walk away from it or if there was some sort of legal issue. I don't know. I never could find anything like that. I suspect they did what they wanted to do with it and then sold it and walked away.
For some reason, I want to say someone has some health issues. I know that Jason's father recently passed away. And
that may be what did it. You know.
I know that someone was having some health issues, I believe. And, it's just, like you said.
Well, I know Jason, I'm pretty sure Jason had to have some sort of surgery or something. I think I remember hearing about that.
Yes, yeah, he did.
Ago.
Yep. They talked about that on their show.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just is what it is. I mean, sometimes it's just life gets you busy. I mean, we just do a little podcast, and it seems like, trying to make time.
We don't have time.
It's crazy. But it is what it is.
And we're not, it's not like we're, well, the problem is we both have jobs. Well, that's not a problem. It's a great thing that we both have jobs. But, we've got jobs, we've got families, you've got kids.
Yep.
I've got cats.
He's got gonorrhea.
No, but I did have the shits earlier, so just...
Oh, diarrhea.
Yeah, maybe we'll edit that out.
Nope.
We don't edit nothing out.
But life goes on,
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to move away from things.
And we do this for fun. It kind of, I don't want to say it gets us away from our families, because that's not the whole reason.
No.
We love talking about this kind of stuff, and it's just
gives us a chance.
It's just what we do, and it's kind of funny. This episode was kind of strange for me because it wasn't. Whenever you brought this up, I was like, what the hell am I going to do with that? I understand why you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have done it or I didn't want to do it or anything. It was just looking at that. It was like,
how do you make an episode out of it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, what direction am I going to go here?
And you want to know how I think about this? I think about it like, just like this whole thing started. We get together for lunch for an hour.
Yeah.
And then we talk about something.
We talk about this kind of shit right here.
For an hour. So there you go. Yeah. It's just conversations. So it kind of just goes with it.
And damn, this taco's good.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was cool because I learned a couple things, I didn't write a lot of notes because I kind of wanted to talk about some of the old
show stuff. Well, let's mention Dave too. Dave Tango is going to be in there. And he was a tech guy and, one of the investigators for TAPS. There's not a whole lot about him out there. I mean, there is. You can go to Facebook and follow him and stuff like that, guys. What you can do, go out there and follow all these guys on Facebook and Twitter and all that.
You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, too.
Do that as well. And YouTube, if you're not watching this right now. But Dave Tango is born on March 20th, 1985. He's only a year older than me. So he's 34 years old.
Damn. Yeah. He's got underwear older than you guys.
Yeah, probably.
I think I'm
probably still
wearing
them.
Yeah. I was like, when I was doing this research and I looked at Jason's birth date, I was like, son of a bitch, I'm older than him by just a couple months. But still, and I'm like, God.
But yeah, man, Dave, there's not a whole lot. Like I said, he was a member of TAPS for 6 or 7 years, and he loves to spend his money on gadgets, and he loves working on electronics and finding out new ways to check out ghosts and paranormal. Right. So it's pretty cool, and I liked him a lot. I liked Dave a lot. He was a good kind of situation down type of guy.
Yeah. Well, and that was funny because that was one thing Steve was talking about. He said, Dave was one of those guys. He wasn't really afraid of anything. Yeah. He would just rush right into some place to.
Well, his dad was a cop too in New Jersey, because they're in Linden, New Jersey is where he was born.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in the works here. Who was the chick that was on that show?
Which one? There's multiple.
The brunette girl that was always with Dave, and then they went off and did their own show. I don't even remember.
Oh, are you talking about Kindred Spirits?
No, I don't think that's the same girl. Never mind.
She's a redhead, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched the older.
Something.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah, something. Anyway, props out to her.
All of them.
All of them. I mean, a great show. You know, that was Steve was one of the big. He was like the lead tech guy for them for years.
Yep.
He was really big into gadgets and stuff, and him and Dave got along really good
because they love they love that stuff.
Yeah, because they both love working with that kind of equipment.
And that's something that I loved about the episodes from Taps and stuff and Ghost Hunters was that they showed you like, okay, this is where we need to do this to get the best shot. This is how we run this to do this.
Yeah.
We should have one here for this reason and put this here for that reason. I love that. That's always. Because back then, too, I was getting into doing it myself.
Right.
So
in the beginning, it was really cool, but, I've said this before. Love the show. But as it went farther along, you could tell that it was getting more scripted.
Yeah.
And you could tell that these guys really didn't want it to be more scripted.
But, that's Vincent pushed them away,
when you're making money.
They fulfilled their contracts.
And quit.
You have to fulfill your contracts.
Right. Right. But
hopefully,
go ahead.
Hopefully this goes because this is. Oh, we want to get into the show.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, of course, we're talking about Ghost Nation, guys.
Right. Did you see when this was supposed to air?
It says fourth quarter 2019. Yeah, that's that's all I got.
I've been seeing commercials for it on TV because it's funny. It's going to be on Travel Channel.
Yep.
Which I watch Travel Channel religiously because it's got all the paranormal shows on
me
it.
too. 100%.
I record a bunch of these and I catch commercials for stuff every now and then, and they've been talking about this Ghost Nation for a while now.
So I wonder if if it's fourth quarter, I'm assuming it's going to be in October.
I am thinking that I saw a date of I'm pretty sure it was like October 10th or 11th.
I figured October
like
would be when they were released.
I think is when they're going to release their first episode. But I mean, just stay focused, people. I mean, it's gonna
come.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a big launch too, because I mean these are three of the most famous people in the ghost hunting world.
Paranormal world. Well, my source here is Bloody Disgusting, Disgusting, yeah, and basically I love.
Speaking of Bloody Disgusting, wait till we get into our horror shorts.
Yeah. This show sounds really cool, the way they're doing this.
It does.
So basically, guys, like you said, it's going to be on Travel Channel. And Jason, Steve, and Dave, we don't know yet. I'm assuming there's going to be. I guarantee you Grant Wilson's going to be on at least one of these shows.
I'm sure he'll pop up.
Guaranteed.
He'll probably pop up as a guest at some point.
Yeah, well, see, that's the cool thing about this show, guys, is basically how they're going to do this is, like I said, Jason, Steve, and Dave, they're going to be investigating with different paranormal groups all over the United States.
Yeah.
And probably, I don't know about the world because of...
No, it's just going to be the United States. That's why it's called Ghost Nation.
Yeah. And basically, they're going to have the best technology and equipment out there, guys, and they're going to be doing investigations with different groups all the time, every episode.
Yeah.
And...
so they're going to be coming to your town.
Yeah, dude. Don't even get me started.
If we find out that they're even going to be remotely close to
Kansas City, or
I am sending Gonzalez a message and being like, "Hey, we got this podcast in mid-Missouri.
We'll come to you.
We'll come to you.
5 minutes?
Would you guys talk to us for a few minutes?"
Oh, dude.
We're on it.
Awesome.
We're on it.
Please. Anyway, but what's cool about this episode, this show too, is
I beg you, Ryan would suck.
Hey.
No, sorry.
We're not going to go over the stipulations yet. What's cool about this is that they're going to be diving deep into this to try to debunk this stuff, but also to get the source of what is causing, if something's causing something, the source of what's causing the issues.
Dude, that was one of the things that was so cool when I was going through the Steve Gonzalez stuff. And I told you I listened to that podcast. He was on that podcast and he was talking, and this podcast was just from like a few weeks ago. And it was his buddy's podcast. But he was saying that all those years he was on Taps and has done all these investigations and all this stuff. He still doesn't believe in ghosts.
That's crazy.
Still doesn't.
So how did he explain all that stuff, man?
He can't. He said, I just... It's not that he doesn't believe that they're... He's like, you know... Yeah. I know, it kind of shocked me too.
Which is cool though, because he still goes out there and
he still goes out there and he does it.
And he said
90% of the time they can figure out a rational explanation for what. Yep. He said, you know, the stuff that we see on camera, he said, you wouldn't believe the stuff you guys don't see.
Oh, well, you got to think about it. If they do a 6, 7, 8 hour investigation.
Yeah.
And we
see a half hour of it.
You got 6 recorders going.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to listen to every bit of that audio.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. But that's the one thing that he really enjoys, though, is the research part of it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
he's that guy,
digging
man.
into these.
So,
anyway.
And like we said, guys, it's coming out. I'm gonna assume we're in October. I couldn't find a date. I wasn't able to. But I'm
pretty sure they gave a date on the commercial, but
I cannot wait for this show.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be really good.
It's funny. Paranormal is on a huge upswing right now. There are a bunch of shows coming out. They just released Ghost Bait a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago, Portals to Hell came out, and I don't know if you've caught any of those.
Yes. Yep.
But Portals to Hell was Jack Osborne,
yep.
Ozzy Osbourne's son, and
what is her name? She used to be on Taps.
Miranda.
I think so.
I think her name's Miranda.
And she used to be on Ghost Hunters.
I just watched the first episode. They did the Alaskan Hotel.
Yes.
It was pretty cool.
Yep, I watched that
pretty
one.
interesting episode. I've got the second one recorded. I mean, that's how new it is. There's only 2 episodes right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many out there now. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. I mean, I could count right now just on the top of my head what's recorded on my DVR. 10 different series.
I can tell you how many times my wife has told me you need to watch this shit and delete it.
But yeah, guys, we just want to talk about this one a little bit here. I mean, I know our episode is going to be shorter, but we're cool with that. I'm sure you guys are cool with that. But we really want to talk about this one. I did for sure because, Ghost Hunters is huge to me.
So while we're thinking about that, this is a question that popped into my head.
Okay.
What is one of your favorite Ghost Hunter episodes? I know that's putting you on the spot, but
yeah, because there's a ton.
There are a ton of great episodes.
You know what? My favorite one that really sticks in my head. I don't know if it was my favorite because I haven't watched them in a while.
Right.
But it was one where they're at a lighthouse. And it's when they very first started getting...
That was a really good...
And they caught that there was a shadow, and it was at, the mid-steps. Mm-hmm. And then, I can't remember who it was like, did you see that on there? And all of a sudden, boom, it pops up over the top, right at the very top, and it's looks over like this.
Yeah.
And then goes back. Dude. And I think in the same lighthouse one, there was a chair that got moved up into an attic.
Yeah, that was the one where the chair moved on the floor.
Yeah, and that was the very first episode. They got really good evidence. Yeah. I remember that stuck in my head. But to be honest with you, that's the one that really stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah.
I remember I still got that video in my head as I'm talking about this. Mm-hmm. That chair, they shut the lid down, and not even 10 minutes later, that chair just goes,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but my favorites, like you, were the freaking live Halloween episodes,
those were cool. They
By
did
far.
those Waverly ones.
By
Well, I'm going to
far.
tell you 2 of my favorites. As far as catching something on camera was when they went to Eastern State Penitentiary.
Oh, and that thing.
And that shadow runs over the camera guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky, and nobody could explain what the hell happened.
Because they showed that video back to back of him, the way he fell.
Several times.
The way he fell, there's no way you could fake that. Because you can see his back, literally, stuff get pulled, but there's nothing, you can see nothing is pulling him.
Right, yeah, that was so creepy. And then my other favorite one, and it's a laugh, really, is, I don't remember where the place was, but where they went into the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That was supposed to be haunted, and they figured out that the owner had rigged a bunch of stuff, rigged the lights to move, and the deal in the bathroom behind the mirror, and oh man, they were pissed off,
man.
Oh my God, they were mad.
Yeah, And the guy at the end, we just really wanted to see if you guys were real.
Yeah.
Dude, get out of here, man.
He just wanted to be on TV.
Exactly. Well, and there was that episode I remember when someone tried to steal their equipment outside, and Steve had to run after him.
Yeah, I remember that one too. God, so many cool episodes.
Yeah, man.
Just a great show.
Great show to go out there and buy the DVDs, guys. Yeah. I know I'm probably going to.
I used to look forward to catching that show every week. And, but it was one of the highlights of my week back then.
Mine every.
I didn't have much going on.
Yeah, I still. If it was going on now, and I just now start getting into it, you know what I mean?
We'd still be watching.
It'll be the highlight.
Because they had a great cast of. I guess they had a great group of people behind
legit people, man.
Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I mean, the way they put it together.
And like I said, you got to mention Grant again because Grant was my favorite. I love that dude.
That show probably would not have been the same without him.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Him and Jason being the two main investigators.
Yeah.
Going into all these places.
Yeah. Man. Great.
Yeah. Great show.
You guys. That's why we think
really looking forward to this new one. I can't wait.
Definitely
to see
check
what
this out, you guys. Stay tuned for Ghost Nation because it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Hit them up, guys, on their Twitters and stuff like that. Let them know how you feel because I know I will. I
haven't even looked to see if they've got a Facebook page yet, or
I don't know if the show does or not. But
I'm sure
I know
they probably do.
I know that all of them do personally.
Yeah, all of them do. I know that, but
I don't know if Ghost Nation does yet. But we'll be on there, man, for sure. We'll be checking it out. Guys, this is going to be a little shorter episode, which is awesome. It's all good. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook and
YouTube.
Definitely subscribe to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button.
Hit that bell because if you don't ring the bell, you're not going to know when new episodes come out.
Yeah.
It's very important that you do that. Cool thing is we launched on all the well, not all of them, but a lot of the major podcasting platforms.
Yes, sir.
We're now on Stitcher. We're on Spotify. iTunes has kind of been jacking us around, so I resubmitted our stuff a few days ago. So I think it's going to go through. But
Google
I don't know.
Pod.
We're on Google Podcast, Radio Public,
Castbox, of course,
Breaker, all kinds of these different. And you can easily find us at anchor.fm/The Horror Chronicles. If you type that into your search engine, it's going to pop right up onto our Anchor page. You can listen to our stuff there, or you can choose to listen to it on anything you want. You can listen to it on any device, your PC, your Android phone, your Apple phone, whatever.
Oh, Apple TV, everything.
Yeah,
and guys,
it's pretty cool.
Got a little special surprise coming up soon, so keep watching the episodes. We got
Ryan's pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just kidding.
I gave birth this morning.
Oh.
Howdy ho, everybody.
To a bouncing baby turd.
We got someone coming.
Oh yeah.
Making her introduction here pretty soon, folks. So.
Oh, it's a her.
Yes, it is a her. And she'll be.
Who could it be?
I wonder. So keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes focused on this. And guys, we love you. Thanks for supporting us. And we're going to keep getting better and better, pushing some more stuff out. Thanks for following us. Thanks for being there. And as always, until next time.
Keep it creepy.